Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel. Isn't this pretty? This is a table topper for my large dining table. It's just going to sit in the middle. I have a rectangle shaped dining table, but I often make round things to place in the middle. So I actually have two sections here that you need to stitch together. This has a patriotic theme, but you can do it in any theme you want. Let me show you a smaller one that you can have. Now, all of your supplies are listed below in the description section. One of the things I want to point out to you is I'm not using any interfacing, fusible fleece, or cotton batting in this project. I didn't feel that it needed it, but if you do want to do that, I recommend then that you use a lightweight fusible interfacing. I wouldn't use fusible fleece or cotton batting because the points will come out very dull and rounded. So just make sure you're aware of that could happen. Okay, let's get started. To determine the size of your table topper, you want to measure whatever table you're putting it on and measure across. Then you're going to add 1 inch for seam allowance. Once you have your measurements determined, then you want to cut squares out for the top section and the bottom section. So here's a square that could be used on the top. And so I'm just going to fold it in half and fold it very carefully. You want to get it as evenly as possible. Now take this and fold it over. And again, be careful how you fold it. Now you're going to bring this corner and this corner together. And take your time and finish folding it. Now I want to find the center across here, and I'm using the lines on my cutting mat, and it looks to be right about here. So you want to get it as centered as possible. This is about my center point. Now I'm going to take the square end of any ruler that you have, and I'm going to put it right on that center point. And then try to get, like I have a 2-inch mark here and here, so I know that both sides are going to be the same. Draw your lines, and then you can go ahead and cut this off on both sides. And then unfold it. Now I'm going to show you how to draw the pattern for the bottom section. So if your bottom section is really large, there's going to be extra folds in the paper. So take your paper and fold it in half, and then you're going to fold it in half again. So here are my folded edges. So now I'm going to fold it to where I bring corner to corner over here and press it down. So now it's going to look like this. Because it's so large, you actually need to fold it one more time over this way. Now at this point, you have to make a decision. Your points are going to be right in here. So you may or may not want to fold it again. I'm not going to, but what I'm going to do is cut this piece of paper off. Now I'm going to take my ruler, take the corner of the ruler, place it in the center, and then you're going to decide how steep you want your points to be. So I've got mine at about 3.5 inches. So now I'm going to cut this side off, and then I'm going to cut this side off. And then go ahead and unfold it. And there's your larger pattern. Now on one of your pieces of fabrics, you're going to draw your pattern on it. So here is the front side of my fabric. I'm going to put that facing down and lay my pattern on top. Then you're just going to go ahead and trace all around your star. Now, after you've drawn your pattern on your fabric, go to the center and just pinch it a little bit, and you're going to cut a hole in it right there in the center. And then just go ahead and cut it just a little bit larger. So now bring front sides together. You have two pieces of fabric where the pretty sides are facing each other. Then go ahead and pin all around your pattern, and then stitch right on top of your drawn lines all the way around. So after you finish stitching, then you want to cut this out. Now you're going to cut about 1/4 of an inch away from your seams. So just go all the way around and do this. After cutting around your edges, you're going to go to the points and cut them down to where they're about 1/8 of an inch wide from the point out to the edge. And then in here where you have those dips, you want to cut straight in. So now you're going to go in through your hole. Now I had to cut my hole just a little bit wider so that I could turn it front side out. So after you've done all of your clipping, just go ahead and turn it front side out. Now after you've turned it front side out, you're probably still going to have to go back in with something that's a little pointed. Go through your hole and go to each one of the points and push them out. Be careful not to jab through your fabric. Then you want to press everything nice and flat. Now you make both sections the same way. The process is identical. So here is my top section. I've got a hole here. Here's the bottom section. There's a hole. So I'm now going to take the top section and center it over that. So you want to make sure you have about the same amount of fabric extending out on all edges. Then go ahead and pin your top section down all the way around. Then stitch about 1/8 of an inch from the edge on your top section, and do the same thing on the bottom section. Stitch about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. And you're stitching this section all the way through on top. And this is what it looks like when it's all done. I'm going to turn it over, and it's just plain on the bottom. I used in my bobbin thread that matches the background fabric here, and on here I used red thread on the top thread. One of the things I want to point out to you is you can get very creative with this. In other words, in this center section, I actually created a 4 patch. I stitched 4 pieces of fabric together before I cut this out. So it just gives a little more interest to it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and that you learned something new. I also hope that you try it. Make it any size you want. Now, if you're interested in other sewing projects, I will have links listed below your YouTube screen in the description section. Just scroll down till you see the word more on your right-hand side. Click on that and it will expand open and you will see all the links appearing. Now, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and make sure you check out my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing. If you like the Sewing Room channel, one of the best ways to show your support is to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And make sure you click on the bell so you receive notifications for all my new videos. I'm Cheryl, this is Manny, and this is Scotty. See you next time.